My name is Garrett Sims. We have a very exciting episode of Sports Time Out for you. We sat down with head coach Logan Seals and his daughter, Kaylyn Seals, to talk about the OHS tennis team. They had an awesome season, breaking lots of records. I believe first time they had won conference, second time ever they won districts. It was a huge, huge season for them, and it's great to hear from Logan and Kaylyn themselves. So with all that being said, let's get into the episode right now. My name is Garrett Sims. We have two very special guests. We have head coach Logan Seals of the OHS girls tennis team and the boys tennis team, and we have his daughter Kaylyn Seals, who's a junior. Thank you guys for joining me so much.
Yeah, appreciate you having us on.
Just to kind of get into it, I want to ask you guys had a fantastic season. I just want to ask you a little bit, could you describe the season for yourselves? You know, what kind of, for you guys, went right and what's memorable about it?
I mean, for me personally, it was quite the journey. I didn't know what to expect being first-time coach. My full-time job, I'm the IT director for the school district, so I work on computers and, do all that stuff. So wasn't new to the tennis program, being that she's a junior and started playing her freshman year. So I was going to all the matches and stuff, but, as far as the coaching side, that was new to me. So I knew that there was a lot to learn and take on, and really didn't know what the expectations were. And I'm sure we'll dig into it more, and she didn't know if she'd even be playing this season with a knee injury, but I accepted the job prior to knowing for sure if she was even going to play. But it was a wild ride. I felt we did pretty well, won quite a few little tournaments and districts, and
for the second time ever in districts, and for the first time ever conference. It was really awesome.
Yeah, the conference one was big because we had a couple rivalries in there with Warrensburg and Harrisonville, so to get past them was pretty cool. And district, I don't know, that one meant a lot to me. That's just a neat one. That's the one you get the cool Missouri trophy, shaped one for, one that gets hung up around the school, and it's just pretty cool to put our season and name on that one. So.
And you kind of mentioned it here, and I just kind of want to ask you, Kaylyn, you kind of battled through injury, and I didn't know that it was kind of up in the air, but I just kind of want to ask you, this season playing through that, how did it kind of go for you, and just kind of take me through that.
I think it went pretty well, especially since I wasn't actually sure until like a couple days before we started like our placing for like our team, where we can find out like our order and stuff. I didn't know if I was going to play until then. And then when I did find out, I was so happy. And then I think it kind of just, I was a little hesitant. Well, I still a little am, since I don't want to re-injure myself. Mm-hmm. But I think I had a good outcome for coming back in such a little short amount of time.
Oh yeah, and you made it to the state tournament, and that was awesome. And so I kind of wanted to ask you, as you take the job, is she kind of barking in your ear to take it? Is that something that kind of happened? Just kind of take me through how taking the job ended up coming to play.
Yeah, 110% she was asking me to do it, which is pretty cool. Obviously, as being her dad, that was pretty neat that she would even want me to do that. But, to be honest, they just weren't getting a whole lot of applicants, which is, I guess, kind of normal in tennis if you don't have someone that's just been there a while. Other programs, districts have ran into that too. So, I definitely contemplated it for a while. One, not knowing if she was playing, because, that's one of the main reasons I would take the job, would just be to, support her and be there. But knowing that I would be there for all the matches and stuff anyways, it's like, well, we can carve out a little extra time to do the practices and stuff like that. But yeah, when I put my name out there, it definitely had a lot with her asking me to do it. And I told the girls up front, I was like, I've played a little bit of tennis, and nothing serious by any means, just recreationally or whatever. And but mostly playing with her these last few years, at least develop some skills, and I hope to continue that going on and do a little more technique, training and stuff going forward next season.
And I just ask you, how do you learn? Is there a way that you study the game or look for practice drills or stuff like that? Like, kind of take me through. I know this is going to sound stupid, but do you just Google on?
You're not wrong. She's laughing at me because we had a day where I don't even remember what that theme was, but what was that day where we?
Oh, it was like our white lies. Like, you write on your shirt like something like a lie about yourself that you like actually do.
Yeah, and my white lie that day was I do not use ChatGPT to come up with tennis drills and lessons. So no, totally. I was on there. I was on YouTube looking up videos. Another big help, my mentor Coach Stoner over at Lafayette County in Higginsville, he was my mentor for this season, so I could always reach out to him as well with any questions, concerns, anything that I had. And so that was a neat relationship that we had, and kind of what's cool with him too, just for comparison, he his daughter is on the team as well, and they went to state, so that was just kind of cool having a couple father-daughter duos.
Oh yeah,
that were able to go there. So
did he share with you maybe any advice that like helped you as a coach, that like maybe helped you get a new perspective or anything?
Yeah, I think so. I'm a pretty patient guy. He definitely said, don't go out there thinking you're gonna win every match, and just have fun. Teach the girls as much as you can, even if me personally, and I admitted it, don't have all the techniques and stuff down. It's about just getting out there and the teamwork, and just taking pride in the school and going out there competing. And if we get a win, cool, and if not, then we just practice a little bit more and work towards that the next one.
And I know you kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, the expectations. What were kind of the expectations for you guys coming into this season, and how was it like dealing with those as the season went on?
What were yours first, I guess?
I would say whenever we found out like what our district was, since they like change it each year, we had pretty high expectations for ourselves because we knew that we were able to beat most of the teams in our district. So having that was nice, and everybody got really excited when we did win it. But conference, we didn't think we were going to win at all, just because Harrisonville and Warrensburg are very, very good. So whenever we did win that was kind of crazy and very much a shock.
Yeah, for sure. Because we had lost to, both of them during the regular season. So I'm a realist, and just, I thought we would do good, but they're always two pretty tough, challenging teams. But yeah, she's right. I mean, comparing to last year, like in our district, let's just say the two girls that ended up getting, and I'm talking singles here for a minute. Don't let me forget about doubles and stuff too. But with having her here, just kind of makes me hone in on that. But last year, the two girls that got first and second in our district ended up competing at the state championship. Literally got first and second in the whole state, and they were in our same district. So knowing that one of them graduated from Lafayette County, and then the other one ended up in a different district, we knew that helped our odds. So that kind of got pretty excited for our the potential of making a decent run, and we did. So.
And you kind of mentioned it a little bit there, singles and doubles. What was the double side of that kind of like? And take me through like when you go through the double season and stuff like that with the state tournament and stuff. How is it different than the singles?
Yeah, so during the regular season and running the duels and stuff, the girls will play singles and doubles. But once you kind of get in that postseason play, the girls can only play one or the other. So Kaylyn and Lily were our two singles, and then Lola and Aaliyah were our doubles one team, and then Danica and Lakai were our doubles two team. Kind of going through the postseason and stuff there, and so they were able to kind of hone in on their particular style of play. The doubles teams kind of worked on stuff a little bit more, whereas Kaylyn and Lily were able to work on the single side of it. Yeah, we just had it was just a great season. We won the Carrollton tournament, and we talked about conference districts, but individually, too as well. We just had a lot of girls do really well. The doubles team, they got first in districts, right? And Kaylyn was second in districts and singles, and I always have to give a little shout out to Aaliyah. She went undefeated during the regular season in her singles play, which is something pretty cool. So we relied on her to pick up some of those wins when we needed those in those team competitions. But overall, just had a great group of girls. A couple seniors holding us together. It was just, I thought it was just a really good blend of a team.
And kind of ask you about these girls, individually, obviously with Kaylyn being your daughter and your teammates, what do they each bring to the table? What makes working with these girls so fun? And kind of to throw it more at you, Kaylyn, what makes them your favorite teammates, I guess, in the sense of like what makes it so fun to play with them?
I would say the group of girls this year and last year, we were all like very, very close. We all became best friends, which is kind of cool because if we didn't have tennis, we probably wouldn't be friends at all, which I think is kind of fun because we're all just very different people. So I think tennis just like brought us together. But
yeah, and as far as the girls, and that's probably another thing that helped me, take this position is knowing I wasn't going in completely, unfamiliar with who they were. I knew the majority of them, going into it, and the ones I didn't. It was cool to get to know them. I did not know the seniors very well, just from just seeing them the last couple of years and stuff, playing wise and stuff. But they're just funny. They know when to joke around. They know when to know when to be serious, and I think everyone just meshed really well. We ended up having, was it 13 or 12? I guess we ended the season with 12 on the program, which was just enough to fill the varsity, and JV squad. So there wasn't a lot of room for error if there was, a day a girl couldn't make a match or whatever. So, but no, it was a great group of girls, and I'm looking forward to next season.
Do you hope that you get more girls out there and kind of expand the program a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, and I don't have an assistant coach or anything, so I see some of these schools that do, but they have 25, 30 girls out there, and to me, I was like, wow, that's a lot. And would definitely need more. And back in the day, I know when they first started the program, it wasn't unusual for them to have 20 to 25 kids out there on the boys and girls side. But yeah, I definitely would like to pick up a few and keep that number manageable, just so I feel more comfortable and can work with them. Not knowing if I'd be able to get an assistant coach or anything, but yeah.
Yes, sir. I just kind of wanted to ask you guys more of a fun question. Was there a match this season that was your guys' favorite that stood out to you? And she's smiling like there's something that she wants him to say.
I mean, I'd have to think here a little bit. I know there's been some where, maybe just talking between her and I, where she would want to win a little bit more than others. Just maybe she lost the first match and kind of wants a revenge and stuff. What are you thinking?
I would say one of my favorite ones was probably like the conference championship, just because me and the girl I played from Clinton we're pretty good friends, and it just makes it more fun to play someone that's fun and that you can talk to, rather than the people who just act mean and don't want to talk to you. So we always like playing each other, and it's always fun with her.
Yeah, we won't throw any names out and stuff, but there were a couple girls where she felt pretty good about beating, this season and stuff, and so that was just pretty neat because kind of deep down inside you just like, yes, you wanted that win,
Yeah, of course. And just to kind of ask you, is there any piece of advice that your father gives you when you play that you kind of listen to that maybe he gets you to get in the right focus or anything like that?
Well, he doesn't. I kind of get mad sometimes at myself a lot, but he doesn't really like when I do that, so I try to stay positive. But also just like a gameplay thing. A lot of times I'll be at the back of the line, and the ball will be up in the air, and I want to smash it down, but then he's like, no, don't do it. So then I have to just hit it with my forehand or else I mess up, and then he gets mad at me. But because I do it a lot, because I mess up a lot with that.
Yeah, it's something we're definitely going to work on. Yeah, and I think she nailed it. I think a big part of her game is just the mental side of it. I mean, it's as much mental as it is physical. You can be the best player out there, have the best backhand and all that stuff. But if you mentally check out of it, or, you get frustrated after losing a point or two, you got to be able to know how to work back and get those points back and stay in the zone. So, and I think that's something everyone can work on. But I think that's one big thing that I'm challenging her to try to do better next year. So.
And to kind of go with that, you guys are conference champions, you guys are district champions. What's it going to take next year to defend those titles,
Yeah, and I'm excited for it because, we'll be returning 4 of our 6, losing the 2 seniors. But 3 of them are juniors and one's a sophomore, so I think we'll definitely have, kind of the upper hand on that just coming in the next season. And then looking at other schools, you always kind of look to see who those seniors were that won't be coming back, and I would say it's looking pretty solid for our program. Warrensburg, Harrisonville, some of those regular season matches that we dropped that we'd love to have back. They have got some seniors out there, so we're feeling good that our top 4 are all returning, and maybe those other teams aren't. So that kind of keeps us motivated and excited. Looking forward to the possibilities for next year.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I just want to ask Kaylyn a fun question. You're going to be coming into your senior year, so I want to ask you, for maybe a freshman or anybody underclassmen coming up, what's a piece of advice you would give them, a tennis player to tennis player?
I would say just always have fun because it's a very fun sport and it's like easy to pick up. So if you just want to like try something new, go for tennis because it's a fun group and it's easy, I think, most of the time. But yeah, and just stay positive. Don't get mad at yourself because then it can bring your whole team down, just the whole vibe. So you never want to do that. But yeah.
And kind of wrap things up a little bit, you're going to be coaching the boys in the spring, and I read in the story too from that guy Corey, you're going to do the girls next year too. So I'm just excited to see you out there coaching, but what are you excited for in the spring to get to coach the boys? And you're going to be a manager, right?
Yeah.
I got that right. So it's going to kind of be like, round 2 and having fun out in the spring. What's that going to be like for you guys?
Yeah, no, I think it'll be a fun challenge too. I think with the boys' side, we're struggling with numbers right now. As of this conversation, there's only 4 or 5, that have kind of for sure locked in. We've heard grumblings of maybe another 3 or 4. Obviously, I would love to have as many as we can. I feel like you absolutely have to be able to field a varsity, squad. So getting our numbers up, and once we get our banquet and the girls' season, I kind of feel like that's done. I'll start to send a form out or something to maybe the freshman boys because I have no idea if there's anyone lurking out there that is expressing interest in playing that we just don't even know about. But no, I'm excited for it. My nephew's on that team, so kind of keeping it in the family too. So that's kind of neat. And I think it'll just be a different game style than with the girls. I've had other coaches tell me this, so I'll have to see, firsthand or whatever. But they say boys are a little tougher to teach. They might be a little more stubborn and set in their ways with technique and change and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited for the opportunity and seeing what we can do to grow the program a bit more.
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm excited to watch you guys do that. Hopefully we get some guys out there. If you're listening here, let's get out to the boys tennis program and get those numbers up. But I just wanted to say, anything else you guys wanted to say?
Yeah, I think a little shout out at the end of the season. Had some girls set some school records. Kaylyn broke the single season win record, which is pretty sweet. That was something that I think she's pretty proud of, especially in a season where she could have had 0 wins, coming back from her ACL injury. And then also our doubles team with Lola and Aaliyah also broke the school record for wins in a season. Both of the girls broke records that were held in 2020. So that was pretty neat. And I think we've got a lot of potential. And of course, I had all sorts of people razzing me this year, just coming in just that IT guy or whatever, and quote winning all those championships and tournaments and stuff like that. So, I mean, it is fun to hear, but a lot of times I have to be like, all right, guys, come on,
Okay.
let's be real here. And, this, maybe I got lucky. I didn't, but no, I just had a great group of girls that were committed and dedicated to the program. And I think that does kind of set the bar kind of high for next season. But what about you, Kaylyn?
To add on to the records thing, Lola and Aaliyah, they are 35th all time in Missouri, their wins, which is crazy. And I think mine was 22nd, which I think is actually crazy because just thinking about it, because that's all 3 classes too, which class 3 people are crazy. And yeah, some of the girls play so much, but I think that's actually really cool that we're on the all-time.
And so you'll get to still add on to that though, right? In this senior year, or is that just a 1 season?
So yeah, what she's talking about is just the Misha single season.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah, there are career stuff too, which we'll see how that goes too. That's something I know she's personally been tracking some numbers and stuff, but don't want to jinx anything and stuff like that. So.
No, seriously, you guys had a fantastic season, and I'm just excited that you guys gave me the time to come in and talk to you, so I greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for your time.
We appreciate it too. That was pretty fun, so thanks again.
This has been our podcast interview with our guest, Coach Logan Seals, and his daughter, Kaylyn Seals. Thank you guys very much. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Sports Time Out. We hope you guys have really enjoyed it. A big thank you goes out to the Seals for their time. It meant a lot to me to talk to them about tennis and everything going on, and we're excited to see what they do next season as well. Make sure you're picking up your copy of the Odessa to get all the other sports information that we're not mentioning on the podcast, as well as other local news and government issues. Can't thank you guys enough for listening, and we'll see you next week.